Alrighty, Vihan, dude, appreciate you jumping on.
course.
Obviously, people who are watching these videos are looking to obviously do some work with us.
Yeah.
You haven't been working with us for that long,
Yeah.
and what's really cool, you're here at an in-person event with us. I'd
Yeah.
love to ask you a couple of questions about your experience working with us. I'd like to share a little story about him before we jump into that, because I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Before Vihan came working with us, he was so skeptical when he came through our sales process. And for someone who's watching this, you're thinking, oh, who is this Ayrton guy? You know, can this guy really get results? There's all these different testimonials that we have. Vihan was one of those guys that was like, man, I don't know if this is legit, and you're so skeptical, which is really cool because you're here, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you made a decision. So I want you to share a little bit about what type of business you run, and also that journey of when you came to us. Like, what was the thing that prompted you to first of all reach out and share a little bit of that skepticism story
Yeah.
of your journey to get here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, I run a video production business based in Sydney, and I'm pretty early on in my journey. So I've been doing this stuff for just about a year now. So pretty much when I first started, I was a freelancer. So I was, basically trying however I could to get gigs and start sort of building a good foundation for my business. But I got to a point where I was basically stuck. So, I had really inconsistent months, and I sort of was losing confidence in myself and whether it was going to work out. So that's the point where I knew I sort of needed some help. But obviously I'm a very stubborn person, and I don't like to reach out for help. And so when I first came across you, I had a lot of doubts. So I was very skeptical. I wasn't sure whether, firstly, I could trust whether you guys had good intentions, and secondly, whether your product actually worked and whether I could actually see results. So yeah, I came in through. We had a meeting. German and I had a meeting together, and I was still very skeptical. But over time, I started to see the stories of other people just like me who've achieved great results through working with you guys, and then I decided to obviously take that leap of faith. But I'm really glad I did, because some great things happened after I did that.
So I know that story, and we've got other clients in the past that have had that that similar journey, right? And it's totally normal. That's why we do these testimonials. That's why they're not even that super perfect in the way we put them together.
Yeah.
Is we know that's your journey, but I also see that as an opportunity for you when you took that step, because for someone to take that step and invest in themselves, your first month was pretty life-changing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about what happened the first month, because we're
Yeah.
like 90 days or a bit over 90 days now since you've joined.
Yeah.
What happened in that first month that you're like, man, fuck, this is that's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, that first month was really awesome for me. I was not expecting it, to be honest. I was happy with getting a good start, getting a couple of clients, and just starting to build the foundations. But what happened was, I got a clear sort of system and game plan from you guys. And for me, I'm really good at just following steps. So I basically followed everything to the T, and went through everything that you guys suggested, got it set up, and most importantly, I took the action. I actually did what you guys were saying.
Yeah.
Within a week, I had everything set up, and then that first month, I did over $21,000 in sales, and mind you, prior to that, my business was fluctuating between maybe 5K, 6K, 7K, sometimes 4K, just fluctuating here and there. So that was a massive
jump.
shift for me.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about my story is that I was, when I joined the program initially, I was actually traveling overseas. So my sister had a wedding in Korea, so I had a trip planned already. So I wasn't sure whether I could actually run my business while I was doing what I love and traveling the world. But I think that showed me that it's possible. And while I was overseas, I was actually on calls with clients, and I actually closed deals overseas as well, which was a massive shift for me. And that was probably one of the coolest things that happened to date. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you posting that in the community. And I was like, "Holy shit, that's
Yeah,
cool!"
yeah.
Like I know
It
it's
was
possible, and the first thing especially in coaching, is there's the unknown when you invest of what outcome is going to happen. We don't guarantee that for everyone to have the same outcomes because people have different experiences. But when you have a system and a step-by-step process to follow, and you put the input and you create the output, it creates belief, right? And this is where you created that belief of being overseas and closing deals, but now you can do it. It was already possible, you just hadn't done it before. And sometimes even people who listen to these testimonials, that same thing, like, how do I actually generate leads? I thought it was just word of mouth was the only way, or paid ads. That's only for big businesses. Like, you're not spending a lot of money on paid ads. It's like 20, 30, maybe $50 per day.
Yeah.
And you're traveling, taking calls.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What was a specific moment you realized, other than just the financial gains, like, was there a specific tool or system that you implemented that you're like, man, that was what I was coming for, and then it beat my expectation, or was like, wow, that really made a difference for me in my business, like an actual tool or something we did?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in terms of tools, I think for me, I'll wait till that passes.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah, alright, cool. So in terms of the tools for me, I think the biggest thing was the framework around my messaging and how to set up basically an ad that speaks directly to my dream sort of audience and client, and the framework around setting that up, and how to actually structure your offer in a way that's appealing and that gets people to basically come to you instead of you having to go to people. Because prior to this, I was pretty much doing outreach. So I was doing cold DMs. I remember every single day I'd have an Excel spreadsheet. Where I was literally manually reaching out to around 30 to 40 to 50 businesses every single day, with basically no results at all. So it was getting so tiring. So that whole framework around how to set that up and then get people inquiring, and coming into your world without you having to go out there, was that pivotal moment for me where I realized that this is going to work. This is the best way to do business, in my opinion, is to set the framework where you have people coming to you.
That's cool. It's cool. I've obviously been running ads for a very long time. It's always cool to hear someone else share their experience, that aha moment. It's like, this is, there's outbound, there's multiple different ways, like SEO and all this kind of stuff. But when you have someone inbound that's booked in a call, it's like night and day difference in your life, because like you're now no longer chasing. You still have to learn the skill set of sales and obviously creating a better offer, and there's that whole new skill set you learn. But when you can have someone book into your calendar, you can predict your income, you can predict your growth of your business, and you can have that freedom to travel like you did. So that's really cool. Okay, so question for you, two I want to kind of land the plane with. If you were chatting to, because you were very skeptical in general, if you were chatting to that person, again, yourself or a version of that, someone who's on the other lens of this, and they're thinking, they're going through all their testimonials, they're super analytic, don't even have to be super analytic, it's just like they're making a decision, which is why we do these testimonials, so people can make an informed decision. What would you say to that person who's sitting on the fence right now, who's watching this and thinking about joining with us?
So I would say, firstly, there is no perfect time to join. So for me, I had the belief that I'll just wait for a little bit longer until I figure it out myself, till I get to a point where I, let's say, have enough cash flow within the business to be able to invest in myself and in my growth. But if you really want to get that growth and the results that you're looking for, the best time to do it is right now, because 2 or 3 months down the line, you might still be in the same position, and then you pretty much have lost 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, even a year in growth. And the worst feeling, I think, is looking back at that and going, what could have happened in that year that I didn't decide to do this? So my biggest advice would be just commit to it. and just try it out, and you'll be grateful that you did, because yeah, you just have to trust in yourself and make that decision to take the leap.
Yeah. I love how you framed it as you made the decision, right? That to invest in yourself would do it for you, instead of, you know, the old version of you said at the start of this is like, I'm very stubborn, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really powerful. That's even the change I've seen with you, because the reason you are getting the success is because you've made the investment. It's not really like the ad, the funnel, those things, like the tools, the tactics, and the strategies that you come for, but it's the investment in yourself, to believe in yourself, to take that next step in the business, which is, from my opinion, really cool to see. So, last question. What was one reason you almost didn't sign up?
Yeah, good question. So going back to what I previously said, I think the main thing for me was, waiting for the right moment. So for me, I think my stubbornness is probably the main reason why I almost didn't sign up, because I thought I could figure it out myself. So, I thought that, okay, let me just try and see if I can figure this out myself. So, the fact that I found it hard to ask for help and to seek help, that sort of almost made me not, sign up and be a part of this. But I think once I let that go, and once I realized that no one who has a successful business has ever figured everything out themselves. They've always had a mentor. They've always had someone who has given them help along that journey. So for me, if I wanted to get to that end point, I knew I needed the right people around me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Vihan. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
This
no
is
worries.
only the start of the journey, but
so
appreciate it.
Yeah.